Let us know if you can hear us, please. Sorry it took a few minutes. We had some difficulty. So let's if we'll get a couple of yes, I can hear you and I can see your mannequin in the corner here. Let me move her.
I can't see your mannequin, but I can hear you.
Can you see? Christy, can you see my face?
I can.
Okay, good.
And
Yeah,
public says I can see and hear.
I can hear you. Yeah, so guys, we just do it as a guest because otherwise it'll send you all these emails. If you, like if we send you, like if you log in every time, but when you log in as a guest, it gives you an option, I believe, every time to, Brittany came off, to put your name in. So anyways, we'll get started because we're already late. I'm Carol Ann. Brittany, yeah,
Okay.
there she is. Yay.
Are we good?
Tracy, can you hear us? And Nikki? Mine has me as a guest again now, too. That's totally fine if you're a guest. If you write a comment or a question, just make sure you put your name. So put like Tracy dash, Nikki dash, Tracy dash. But actually, I can see your names, Nikki and Tracy. So I just want to make sure people can hear before we start. Anybody? Okay, public says I can. All right, I'm going to mute myself, and then Brittany's going to introduce Christy.
A lot of introductions around here. Hi, everybody. It's Brittany. I didn't think I was going to be here tonight because I did my big time hair thing, my 5 minutes of hair fame. But anyways, it only took like 10 minutes or 30 minutes. So I'm here, and I'm so excited you guys are joining us on our first webinar series. I am sitting on my bed because it's the quietest place in my house, but probably not for long. Anyways, we're excited every Monday night for the immediate future. We're going to be hopefully doing some training calls, and so you guys will be getting hold please. We're just going to shut this door. There we go, locked the door. We're going to be doing webinars just on different topics. We kind of got together and said, what are some things that we feel like people need to know, especially some of our new girls. And so if you're brand new, we are so excited to have you. And anyways, I thought when I was planning the schedule of what was going to be taught when, I thought that the first thing that we should have, the very first webinar that we should have, I mean, because I don't really consider the one that I did like 3 weeks ago as a real webinar because it was just a real major bust. So anyways, for this first official webinar, I asked Christy to do it for us, Christy Reed, who is my best friend, but also is a trainer on our team. And one of the things that I think is super duper important to LuLaRoe, but also to our team, and I've said it many times on videos and also just through to you guys individually, is culture and etiquette, team culture, things that sometimes you may not even think about, and things that, when you get into LuLaRoe, especially when you get into the online world of LuLaRoe, sometimes there can be some unsaid rules and some unsaid things that you just didn't know. And so we thought that this would be a good chance to just kind of lay some of that stuff out there for you guys. And Christy is the girl to do that, okay? She'll shoot you straight, but she loves you. It's not personal. She'll just let you know how it is. And that's one of the many things that I love about her. So without further ado, Christy's going to talk about culture. She's going to talk about etiquette. She's going to talk about some different things that I think would be really pertinent to your business. And then just write down your questions, and we're definitely going to have a question and answer time at the end, okay? So I'll still be here, but I'm going to mute myself out so that you don't hear any 3-year-olds talking. And yeah, that's it. So Christy, go ahead.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so I am, this is obviously my first time ever done this, so like figuring out where I should be looking is going to be a challenge for me. So I'm going to try not to look down at the little box. I'm going to try to look at you out there in cyber world. So those of you that don't know who I am Christy Reed, and I am Brittany Comp's best friend. She's so lucky. And I signed up with LuLaRoe in February, March of 2014. So I've been with LuLaRoe for 2 years. And I live in the Nashville area. When I first started selling, I was living in Huntsville. And then moved back to Nashville. And I just love LuLaRoe. And it has definitely been a blessing for my family. So tonight we're going to talk a lot about the culture of LuLaRoe and what that looks like. And you hear Mark and Deanne talk a lot about that on the Tuesday calls, but I think maybe if you're just coming into the company, or even if you're maybe someone that's been being sponsored by someone that's still also new to the company, understanding the culture of LuLaRoe and what that truly means when someone says that, like, what does that mean? Because it's such an overused word in society, culture. And so we're going to talk about that some tonight, and like really I'm going to use some examples that come from my own experiences, and some from information that LuLaRoe's given us to share with you. But like, I wore this shirt and it says "Be the Magic," and this was the shirt and the theme for the last leadership training that Brittany and I got to go to in California. And when we were in California, Brittany and I talked about how when you go to Disney World, like there's this culture, there's this feeling of when you walk into Disney World or Disneyland, like anything can happen and it's magical. And Walt Disney created this whole world where you just feel like anything can happen, and it's just a magical place. And while Mark and Deanne are not Walt Disney, I feel like when we talk about the LuLaRoe culture, like it's this intangible thing that you can't really describe. The sisterhood that all the consultants have with each other, the true love and passion that Mark and Deanne have for the success of LuLaRoe and all of us that are out in the field. If you've not had a chance to meet Mark and Deanne, I strongly, strongly encourage you to have a face-to-face meeting with them. Go to one of the Inspire trainings, go to convention in July, get connected and get to know who they are as people and what their true mission for LuLaRoe is. Because when I say that, I feel like they embody and embrace everything that they want LuLaRoe to be, and what they want, how they want, not even how they want us to act towards our customers, how they want us to interact with each other. And I can guarantee you, the more you interact with other LuLaRoe consultants and the more that you embrace the culture of LuLaRoe, the more successful your business will become. And so one of the things that I did want to share about, and I'm going to screen share here, so I'm new to this, so here we go. I'm going to screen share here. Here we go. Share. One of the things that, if you've never seen this is a partnership matrix that is available at the back, is available on the back office, and this is a partnership matrix. And so if you are new to LuLaRoe or you've been around a while, this is something you can go and you can look at. And when you think about LuLaRoe, what we can expect from LuLaRoe is that they will always have give us a warm welcome. They're going to put our needs first. They want us to be successful. They're going to give us high-quality products, and if they can't produce those high-quality products, they're going to make sure that they make those corrections and make sure they get them out to us promptly and accurately as possible. I'm not going to read this to you because, we can all read, but I did want you to see that and know that. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and come back to you. But we will act with character and integrity in all that we do. Hold on. Oh, please. Figuring out. Okay, I think I'm back now. Okay, so can you see me? Can you tell me if you can see me? Can someone comment? Am I doing this right? Did you see my screen? Am I here? Are we good? Okay, awesome. So, but I wanted to show that to you because, LuLaRoe has in place a matrix where you can go and look and see what they expect for us to see, or what they expect for us to, let me get my thoughts back together, of, treating us with integrity. And, they always ask for us to assume innocence. And, one of the things when I think about LuLaRoe, sometimes I know we get frustrated, like, with the legging situation that's going on, or, with some of the back orders. And, sometimes I think about, like, when my husband's doing something that makes me mad, or, the laundry didn't get done the way that it should have, or whatever. Like, my husband is doing the absolute best that he can do. Like, he doesn't ever, like, halfway do something. He never thinks, like, oh, I'm just not going to do what my wife asked today because I don't feel like it. I'm just going to, go play golf. That's not my husband. And so when you think about, LuLaRoe is doing the absolute best they possibly can do. They're not halfway doing anything. They're not saying, oh, well, we're not going to worry about this problem. We're not going to worry about that consultant. They are doing the absolute best that they can do. And you just have to trust and believe that they truly, truly are, and that they have our backs. And I know you hear that all the time. LuLaRoe has our backs, but they truly do. And I think the longer that you're with the company, you're going to see that, there's going to be hills and there's going to be valleys with LuLaRoe. There's going to be times where LuLaRoe has all their ducks in a row and everything's going to be exactly the way it needs to be. And you're going to be like, this is amazing. I can order whatever I want when I want. My order got here in 5 days for us out in Tennessee, and this is amazing. And then there's going to be some growing pains. I can say probably like in the 2 years I've been consultants, I've been a consultant. There's probably been like 6 times that leggings have been out of stock. And so now when leggings are out of stock, I don't worry about it. I just sell the other stuff that I have. And a girl on my team was over here last week, and she, it's just having that experience of knowing that LuLaRoe does have your back. They will fix the problem. It just may take a little bit, but it will get fixed. So, but one of the things I did want to talk about with the culture is, like, we know that LuLaRoe's culture is to love, is to give, is to share. But, some of that is also of how we treat those at LuLaRoe, like how we treat the customer support at LuLaRoe. If you don't know this, every time you call LuLaRoe, you're being recorded. So, like, they can go back and listen to any phone call at any point that you've ever made with LuLaRoe, and they tell you that when you call. But I didn't really realize how much that was true until we were at the last leadership training, when we got to sit in and, like, listen to different people's phone calls. And I just thought, gosh, if people really knew that every time you're calling in, every time you talk to a customer support person, that call's being recorded and it's being put underneath your file, so they can come back and they can listen to it if they need to for, further information, or if there was a misunderstanding or anything like that. So just be mindful of that when you're talking to people at home office, that those are people, just like you and me, that, that's their job, and they're doing the absolute best that they possibly can. No one's trying to shortchange you or to brush you off. And so, but I do want to encourage you. I'm going to go back to the screen sharing. A lot of us, with the growth that's going on with LuLaRoe, a lot of you all are starting to build teams, and this is maybe going a little bit away from what I am supposed to talk about, but I feel like it's really important, because a lot of us are building teams, and a lot of you are building teams, and I want you to realize that if you're building a team, you are responsible for training and teaching the culture of LuLaRoe. It is not something that you should take lightly. It is something that you are, you're growing the LuLaRoe business, and so you should be growing that culture as well. And so you can see the last thing here. It says your sponsor will model the character and integrity of the company and our culture in all their interactions with you as they represent the company. So if you are someone that has, if you have filled out if you've sent anyone a link to join your team, you are, oh, hold on, stop sharing. Here we go. If you've sent your link out to anyone to join your team, you're responsible for teaching that team member the culture of LuLaRoe. You're responsible for teaching them to be courteous and giving and loving to all their customers. You're also responsible for teaching them how to interact with other consultants versus being the web or people in person. And so I hope that kind of covers that, but that was one of the things that I did, I wanted to talk to you about. And if you haven't ever looked at that partnership, it's called the Partnership Matrix. And I encourage you to go back and look at that document. It just talks about what LuLaRoe's role is, what your role as a sponsor is, and then also what your role is to a customer. Yeah, I think that's really what just the culture of LuLaRoe and how we should treat each other. And going into that, talking about ethics a little bit, how we should treat each other with LuLaRoe and our culture. Everyone's seen the ethics document. I'm going to pull that up if you haven't seen that, what it looks like in the back office. Oh, please. Here we go. Okay. So this is the LuLaRoe Etiquette and Ethics document. And there's a lot of different areas where this is on here. You've got some social media. The VIP page, if you've not looked at that, that's something really important because a lot of us are starting to use more and more VIP page. You know, if you're shopping on another consultant's page or another person's Periscope, you should know that you're going to be paying at retail price. And I think most of us do know that, but if those of you that are new, that's something for you to know. If you're shopping from another consultant's page or a Periscope, you should just expect to pay retail because that person's taking the time, they're running their business, and when you're shopping on their page, you're a customer at that point. You're not a fellow consultant. Do not entice another consultant customer to buy from you. Do not post pictures of your products on other people's pages. And respecting other consultants. Share the LuLaRoe love. Always share positive words. So if you haven't read this, you need to go through it and read it. Always assume innocence in any situation, and that's something that LuLaRoe asks us to do. Here, I'm coming back. Stop screen share. I don't even know if I did that right, but we'll see. Cancel. I don't even know if I just showed that to you, or if you were watching me look down at my screen, or I don't know what you just saw. But anyway, you're good. Okay, thanks. So going into that about how we treat other consultants and how you don't post on other people's VIP page. I know that there's a lot of growth going on in LuLaRoe right now, and one of the things I wanted to talk about is being ethical towards other consultants, not only on VIP pages, but also other girls that are trying to build their team. I know it's happened to several of you, and it's happened personally to me 3 times now. 3 times now where I have worked with a girl and thought that she was going to sign up with me, and she acted like she was interested in joining my team. I sent her paperwork. I spent time with her on the phone, and then my voice is going in and out. Can you hear me now? I'll scoot it up a little bit. Make sure I'm not on anything. Your voice, the sound is going in and out. Okay. Hope you can hear me. I can hear you. Okay, awesome. So like I was saying, it's happened to me 3 different times where I thought I was signing up a girl. I had talked to her. I thought we had a connection. I thought she was one of my girls, and she ended up signing up with someone else. What those reasons were, some of those I may never know. Maybe your reception girls try coming back out and come back in. Okay. What I do know is that everyone that's supposed to end up on your team will, and if you are in the middle of starting to sign someone up, out of courtesy because of the way the business is growing and a lot of people are learning, 2 years ago people were learning about LuLaRoe organically at a home pop-up. They'd come, they'd be my customer, and they'd say, oh my gosh, this is so much fun, I'd love to do this, and so I would share the opportunity with them. But now you have people contacting you online. You have people message you saying, hey, I'm interested in signing up. Can you send me some info? And you may have never even sold a skirt or a dress or a tunic to any of these girls that are contacting you. I would just really encourage you to be transparent with them and say, hey, I would love to give you more information. I just really would like to, out of respect for anyone else that you may have been talking with, are you currently working with any other sponsors? Because right then it opens up the dialogue to let her know that you have an expectation if you're going to be her sponsor, and if she's working with someone else that's respecting the other consultants, whether or not she's been talking to someone else. And, if she says, well, I've been asking some questions to this other girl, tell her, like, well, I'd be happy to be your sponsor, but I would prefer, to talk with the other girl or, correspond with her or let her know, like, if you've been working with another sponsor, I'll be happy to answer some questions, but that's probably where most of your information needs to be directed to, or your questions to be directed to, because, you don't want to be the sponsor that's taking someone else away from. You don't want to be that girl that's taking people from other people, because that's not cool, and you're going to build a name for yourself that, that's definitely not the LuLaRoe culture. And you also don't want to spend all that time working with someone and then they end up signing with someone else. And I know that it's just not happening to me, and it's just not happening to people like in the Middle Tennessee area. I mean, I have girls that it's happened to on my team. On the leadership page in LuLaRoe, we see it all the time where people are making comments like, I lost this girl for this or whatever. And if you're bribing someone to be on your team, stop. Don't bribe someone to be on your team. because then that's just not cool. I mean, that's just bottom line. It's just not cool. So, but that's, start the dialogue right away when you start talking to someone about signing up, and just be honest and transparent with them and ask them if they're working with another sponsor. If they are, move along. Don't try to coerce or take over as that person's sponsor, because they're obviously working with someone else. So that's my 2 cents on that. But going back to the ethics, if you haven't read the ethics and policies procedure, you need to do that. And that goes back to
etiquette. It's the etiquette, not ethics.
Oh, etiquette. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, Brittany, can you think of anything else you want me to say about culture or etiquette before I move on to customer service? I can't hear you.
Sorry. Sorry. I said I think that you definitely hit the high points. The main thing I think a lot of our new girls didn't know was that there even was an ethics. Now I'm saying it, an etiquette document in the back office. So just check that out, because one thing is that if you were a huge buyer and turned consultant, the rules are a little bit different when you're on our side, when you're on the consultant side, as opposed to the shopper side. So I mean, just looking at it more from a consultant point of view, especially if you are a newer consultant and all you did before was purchase LuLaRoe, but now you're selling it. There's just some things that you want to make sure that you are that you're doing. And one of the things that LuLaRoe says all the time is assume innocence. So we will always assume that you just didn't know, or that and so we ask that you do that for somebody else. Just assume that they don't know. If they post a link to their group on your page, if they say, I have this in my group, private message me, if they send unicorn hunters in, I know it's weird, but people do this kind of stuff, just don't flip out and go on the Lovelies page and rant about it. Message that person and just say, hey, just want to let you know that this is in the etiquette document. I deleted your post, and I would appreciate it if you didn't do any more. Thanks, have a great day. And then just move on, and hopefully at that point it would be fixed. But just little things like that. Check it out and let us know if you have any other questions about that. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, awesome.
Bye.
Oh, I had a thought when you were saying that. What was my thought? Oh, what was my thought? You were saying... Oh, another thing is that if you're on buy, sell, trade groups, or if you're on How We Row or any of those groups, those groups don't really... model or embrace the culture of LuLaRoe either. And so, if you're getting information from any of those groups, I would encourage you, I mean, they've already encouraged us, get off those groups. But if you're someone that was on there as a buyer, make sure that the stuff that you get, the information you get from home office calls, that's not the place to post them. If you get information about, something being out of stock or whatever, you're welcome to post that on your own personal page, but I wouldn't blast that on a public page where there's 20,000 people and all those people aren't your customers. Yeah, so exactly. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is customer service. And there's a difference in customer service. When I first started, all my customer service was basically in-home, and I didn't have to really worry a lot about online customer service. I sold a little bit online when I first started because I was living in Huntsville, and so I would, take pictures of my maxi skirts because that's all we basically had back then. And so I would take pictures of my maxi skirts and I would post them, and I would do like one event, and I would sell, my maxi skirts that way. So, I think with customer service, I think it goes back to just like how we ask consultants to assume innocence with each other, and for us to assume innocence with LuLaRoe. I think you also need to assume innocence with your customer sometimes. 9 times out of 10, the customer that you're dealing with isn't looking to come and get you. They're not looking to bankrupt your business. They're just a customer, and they want to be treated. I have people sneaking upstairs now. What are you doing, sis? Mommy's working. Yeah. Yeah. That is Brittany, yeah. That's Aunt Brittany, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Kiki. Hi.
You here? There she is, Aunt Brittany.
Hi, Kindle.
Aunt Brittany. I don't think you can see her, but
Yeah. Okay.
you know who you were when she walked up.
Okay. Go on.
So back to customer service. So the in-home, you know, making sure, I mean, I think pretty much all of us know how to give in good home customer service, or you wouldn't have gotten in this business. But a lot of it, what I'm going to talk about is mostly online, and that's just, you know, to go back to assume that innocence. You know, making sure that if someone, you know, thinks that if they get something in the mail and it doesn't fit the right way, or they get something in the mail and it has a hole in it, you know, it doesn't, is it going to hurt you? I mean, our leggings are like $10.50 a piece. Like, you know, tell them if it has a hole in it and they want another pair, you know, tell them to, you know, send it back to you, or you can send them a reply, or, no, baby. Mm-mm. No. See how distracted I just got because of this little nugget that just came up here? I have no idea where Daddy is because Daddy's supposed to be watching them. But just, you know, going back, I'm going to say it again, assume the innocence. Assume that they are being honest. Assume that they are not trying to nickel and dime you. Hey, Jessie, can you come get Kendall, please? And that they're not trying to nickel and dime you, and just, you know, treat them the way that you would want to be treated. You know, if you bought a pair, you know, some of these people that may be shopping from you, you know, it may be their first LuLaRoe experience. One of their friends may have said, hey, you've got to join this group, try these leggings, and they get the leggings, and they may have been that one person that got a hole in them. And yes, it may have been the first time that person shopped from you, but you want every experience from someone to come. You want every experience that someone shops with you to be a good one. And two, going back to that LuLaRoe culture, you want every person that, you know, some of these girls that shop from, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 consultants, they should have the same experience and be treated the same way from every consultant if we're all sharing that culture of love and giving and respecting and being honest and showing integrity to all of our customers. Stop, sis. So that's really all I have on customer service, because I think it goes back to, you know, that golden rule: treat others the way that you want to be treated. And you know, I mean, like, you know, the little tidbits of, you know, being like, I mean, this is a big deal, guys, because she's never on social media, so don't screenshot this, okay? Going back to, you know, and for me, like for customer service for online, like I do things like I make sure I put a little note in there, making sure that your customers understand your exchange policy. Don't leave it open-ended and make them guess what they're having to do. You know, I know a lot of us have like care cards that we put in our stuff, but you know, a lot of the customer service online is all about informing your customers, making sure that they understand how your page works, making sure that you're answering those questions and they don't feel open-ended. Yeah, this is, yeah. But I mean, I think if you have, oh, Jesse's letting everyone see. Okay, that's Gracie. That's my 1-year-old. And this is my 3-year-old Kendall. That they are what I do all day with LuLaRoe. So, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that because it's about 7:40. So, does anyone have, also another thing about the online customer service is, you know, when people are asking questions, you know, be polite to those people. Don't act irritated like, oh, did you read my pin post? Well, obviously they didn't, or Kendall, stop. Obviously they didn't read the pin post, or they would have not asked that question. And so you just have to remember that, you know, some of your customers, you just have to constantly train and teach them how to shop from your page. So you want them to keep shopping from you, so be courteous to them and be nice to them and answer their questions. So, okay, so it's 7:40, and that's pretty much all I have to share with you this evening. Is there any questions that you all have for me? Or Brittany, because she's still on, or Carol Ann, she's on too, but she's got her thing muted. Any questions? I can see them on the side.
I got my pajamas on, so I'm ready for questions.
Any questions? Don't be scared.
Tonight was really just more informative, you know, and it may just be something that you'll go on and, you know, make sure you're on the back office, especially for, I know it's hard for some of you that are in the queue because you don't have a username and password yet. But, you know, ask your sponsor, ask her to, share those documents with you. Ask her to share, every bit of information that she can give you that you feel like that she feels like you would need. Ask her for it because that's what she's there for. So.
Yeah, I just really tonight I really just wanted to get a point across, like, because there's so many new girls that are signing up, new girls, that you really should understand, like, if you don't embrace the LuLaRoe culture, and I'm just going to be really blunt, if you don't embrace the LuLaRoe culture, or you have things negative to say about LuLaRoe all the time, don't be signing people up, because that's not fair to the people you're signing up. Because LuLaRoe is, just the culture of LuLaRoe, what Mark and Deanne stand for, the truth of, I tell this story to my girls all the time, like, I remember the first time I met Mark and Deanne, we were sitting at a Mexican restaurant. It was right after I started, and I had tried direct sales before, and it was awful. I was terrible at it, and some people are great at selling anything, and I am not. And I remember Mark sitting across from me, and he was like, "Our goal is for not to have tubs and tubs of clothes sitting in your garage and you not selling stuff." And when they made the announcement that eventually Audrey will go into based on sales and not orders, that just solidified it for me even more. And as the company has continued to grow from, that was when we had 200 consultants, now to 10,000, can guarantee you, if you walked up to Mark today and asked him, he would sell you the same thing. Like, he does not want you ordering stuff if you're not selling it. And they truly, truly, truly want us all to be successful. They want us all to be making money and to be spending time with our families. Like, what other job can I be sitting here training people on how to love LuLaRoe more with my daughter sitting in my lap? Not very many jobs could I do that. So just
Well,
know.
I have something to say. While I was making that, for those of you who don't know, I made that time video tonight for the hair curler. And while I was making this video, they had two guys who were videoing, and the one guy who was videoing was like the COO or something. He's the owner's brother, and he was getting phone calls. He got a phone call while we were recording of this guy who had bought a ton of time irons and was selling them on eBay, and they had to block him. And then there was people who were complaining because they were temporarily out of irons. It just was so funny because the parallels between their their business and our business, and it's like it's everywhere, and it's all about how you treat your customers. And Kendrick was saying tonight, he was like, we're going to take care of these people, like, they need to know that. And he was talking about how when people buy time irons through eBay, they're not protected. They don't have that 1-year warranty. They don't have the access to all of the stuff that if they buy through the company. So I just felt like it was funny because I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like we're talking about LuLaRoe, but it's a totally different company. So these issues that we think sometimes are just gonna like end the world, like, they're everywhere. They're especially in every small business. So it doesn't matter. It's just, to me, it's more how they're handled, and I feel like LuLaRoe does a really good job of handling situations when they arise. The one thing, for those of you who are really brand new, I'm sure you guys know this, but we went from like growing like this. I don't know if you can tell that my hand is gradually going up to this. Oh, I can't get this. Okay. To straight up. The growth went just like triple, I don't even know, like insane. And so, they weren't prepared for that. They just weren't. There just was not, there was no way to know that we would make $5 million one month and 30 million the next. It just was insane. And so they have taken that in stride and done the best that they can, but there have been a lot of hiccups and there have been a lot of issues. And so, I think more so not the fact that there are problems, but how those problems are handled is really what speaks more about the company. And then also within us as our own businesses, we're going to have issues. I oversold a pair of red sheep leggings last week, and the girl got 2 free pairs of leggings from me because that wasn't the first mistake that I had made with her. Her first pair of candy leggings ripped in the butt. So she ended up getting like 3 pairs of free leggings from me because I wanted to make it right. I wanted to make all those problems right. Even though some of them weren't my fault, they were still problems that happened through my business. And I wanted to make, and she said, and she messaged me the other day and she said, your customer service is amazing. Thank you so much. And so, I don't always get it right, but I try. And so we want to make sure that you guys are doing that same thing and trying that same way with your business, because all it's going to do is come back to you in a positive way. You're never going to get, in trouble or whatever for having great customer service. All it's going to do, I think, is help you. So.
One more thing I did want to say, which I had really good notes to go by because I've had a crazy day. But one of the things that Mark and Deanne did say, or Mark said in the January training, was that really stood out to me. And they've always said this, but like, there's no you and us. There's no
consultants at the
LuLaRoe's
office.
Customers. Yeah, we are not LuLaRoe's customers. We are their partners, and that goes back to that partnership matrix. And Mark was very bold and upfront, was saying like, if you don't embrace the culture, if you don't follow the lifestyle and the way that we want our consultants to love and to give and to share, then you are not a partner of LuLaRoe. And they really want everyone that is signing up to be consultant to be one of their partners. They don't look at us as our customers. Their customers are who we sell to. So, be thinking about that when you have these issues. Like, if, with the back, when I talk about LuLaRoe, I say we. I don't say, well, they're out of leggings, so I can't get them. No, like, well, we had these issues, and so we have some back orders going on, but as soon as they get in, I know that I'll get some. Like, it's all about, oh, great, someone's calling me. So but that goes back to the culture of like, it's not us. And let me just tell you, like, because Brittany and Carol Ann, like all of us, have been a lot with the company, for a really long time. They've always said that. I remember being in high school in my kitchen and Mark saying, don't call us corporate. I remember that one call. He said, don't call us corporate. We are, we're all in this together. We're all one family. It's not us and them. And so don't ever, even as the company continues to grow, like, they don't see us as their customer. They just don't. We are their partners. So, and think about that when you're, the way that you talk about home office, or you get frustrated when you get on Facebook and if you're a part of a partnership, would you get on Facebook and blast your partner? No, because how does that make you look? 'Cause you chose to go into partner with a business with those people. So it's just like that whole idea, like, you wouldn't get on Facebook and blast something, tell the world that your husband did something stupid, because that makes you look bad because you're the one that married him. You shouldn't go on Facebook and talk ugly about something that's going on with LuLaRoe because they're your partner. So
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Chris. Did we have any questions?
Love that. Yeah, yeah. I think people were asking about that partnership matrix, and that is underneath the assets. I think Carol Ann took care of that. Thanks, sis.
No, I didn't. Someone else wrote that. Good job. I'm just counting my inventory here, so,
Okay.
or whatever.
Someone
I just wanted to say that what you said was so good, and I think when you said just putting a lot of emphasis on the sponsor thing is huge, and we didn't always do that because there were so few of us. Like, when there were 50 girls on Brittany's team, like, we just all worked together and did it, but now we're so spread out that really, like, I think it is beneficial to kind of go up the chain, because if you post a question on Facebook, the way somebody responds may or may not be great for them, but it might not be what's right for you, and that's why your sponsor knows you and knows what's going on and knows how to respond to those things. So I think that's great. And also, just like Patrick always says, that's thinking like a retailer. What would you do if you're at Target and there was an issue and that's where you worked? You would take it up the chain. You would think outside the box. You would say we and not them. And I find myself doing that too sometimes, but the longer you do it, the better it gets. But I think Brittany's right. When you come from being a buyer, which so many of our new girls are, and I think that's awesome. Like, that just shows that the product is that good and the business is that much better. But when you come from being a buyer, it's really hard to be like, well, I didn't get my leggings. No, actually, the whole company is out of leggings right now, and they're back ordered. And so once you've sent an email and they say they're coming, give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. So, and I get it, because didn't you guys do that in the beginning? Like, you'd get defective pieces and be like, this stinks so bad, But like, then the longer you do it, the more you're like, okay, 5 defective things in 600 pieces is not that big of a deal. So that was a great point.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself, and when y'all are done, just shake your head, and I'll stop the broadcast. Oh, if you want to share this with your teams, too, I'll post the Anytime link, so it won't be the same link as the one you used to come as a guest. It'll just be like a watch later link, and they'll pull it up, and it'll go straight to it. Okay, goodbye.
I mean, that's about all I got.
Yeah, that's
So,
it. I
hope
think
this
that's
was
good. We'll let
beneficial.
everybody go. It's been 50 minutes, really 40, because we had some technical difficulties in the beginning.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. If you are watching this later, thank you for watching it later. And next Monday night we will meet again, and that will be our new member, our new consultant welcome, orientation, welcome, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So that's all I got. Chris, anything else?
Just know if I ever post anything on Facebook, I'm a really nice person. I just sometimes come across as a straight shooter. That's
Yeah,
who
no.
I am. So,
And you
but I
know,
love all of you.
She
Do you
So,
see that question, Brittany, about marking the tags? Can you address?
Oh, if you like for giveaways and stuff.
on the etiquette document at the bottom, it mentions. Okay, so Kendall, stop. I have a child writing on everything. Hold on. Give me that pen. Okay. She took my pen and started writing on everything. On the bottom of the document, it talks about. Can Jesse? Gracie's coming towards the stairs. Okay. It talks about the bottom where, like, if you have heavily discounted something, or, and this goes back to customer service too, like if you've heavily discounted something or if you have given something away for free, to mark those items. So because of the issues of how LuLaRoe has become so popular and so many people love our clothes, and so many people can see the benefit of how they can make money from reselling clothes. That's one of the things that people have talked about, is that you can mark a document, you can slash the inside tag, you can slash through the tag itself, little hanging tag. Do what?
Yeah, the hang tag is what I was
The
saying.
hang tags. Mark through those things if you gave it at a discount price, or if it was a hostess item. That way, the person that's receiving it can't go to another consultant and say, "Hey, can I exchange this for this dress?" Because
Like if you do a giveaway on your page and you choose the leggings or you choose the dress, because you can do that because it's your
right.
business. We don't want them going and trading that. It's just so
And
yeah.
going back to customer service, that that's where I went back from the beginning of, like, keeping your your customers also, like, fully informed. Like, my customers know that I only exchange things that are bought from my page, and being transparent, letting people know that. And if
Be
you
kind about it, but don't let them. They'll walk all over you real quick if you're not
right,
careful.
just setting those guidelines and letting people know what those guidelines are at the beginning. Are you supposed to do this? Honestly, as a courtesy to other consultants, I think you should. I mean, that's why it's on there, because that whole etiquette document is really about being courteous to each other consultant. Because it's but then again, like, I protect myself from consultants that don't do that by not taking exchanges from other people. So you're encouraged to do it. How's that? Yeah. It's your business. You can do what you want with it, but to be part of the culture, you need to be following that etiquette document.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, if that
It's
is
bedtime
it,
here, so I know it's at your house too.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So we'll let you guys go. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you, like I said, if you're gonna watch it later, that would be awesome. Share it with your teams. And I do believe that is it. We will talk with you guys later. Bye.
Bye, friends.